Okay, just to get things started, could you just remind everybody listening your name and your role, if possible?
Sure. Hello, Barney. All good?
All good with me, man.
Okay. Andrés Felipe Sánchez I'm the head of the Latin America and the Caribbean team.
Very nice, very good. Welcome, bienvenido. Great to have you with us. Just to kind of give everybody an overview, then we've sat down and we've recorded before, but could you just share some insights into how Climate Bonds Initiative is optimizing its impact through internal strategies and processes, and from your point of view, how this has contributed to the growth of sustainable finance in Latin America and the Caribbean?
Well, Barney, the LAC team is already around 5-7 years since the first member started in climate bonds in Brazil. Now we're a group of around 10 people, 10 to 12 people, working from all the development of the region. We are in 3 different countries. We are in Mexico, we are in Colombia, we are in Brazil. So this shows how climate bond is growing, not only internally but externally. The teams are growing, and this is all because of all these working processes, new standards, new criteria, and a stronger organization that has become a larger team every time more in the region. That's how we're trying to make an impact, working in different regions, coming to different countries. And this year we have made at least 5 new partnerships with stock exchanges, for example, in the region. That's great.
You've got a pretty large catchment area. It's one I find really fascinating for all sorts of reasons. I think biodiversity, agriculture. Are there any success stories you can share about kind of inspiring investors in the region to support the transition towards a green and resilient future?
Sure. Look, we have the first SLB, sovereign SLB issued by a country. It was by Uruguay last year. So that was a first with 2 really interesting KPIs that are becoming like a good benchmark for other issuances. We had the Colombian was the first taxonomy in the whole Americas, and this show it's a proof of how important for the region it is to bring investors. And as you know, taxonomies are those criteria that will allow investors to know if something is or is not green. So this is good to have these standards already established by a country. And yeah, we have the Latin American Common Framework for taxonomies. So all these are great steps and a good show that the Latin American region is ready for transition, and it's really much needed because of our biodiversity and our vulnerability to climate change.
Yeah, I sort of follow from afar sort of the changing context there in terms of changing governments. Of course, there'll be varying degrees of how much support you can get. How can your work sort of contribute to influencing governments in the region to prioritize green and resilient investments?
Look, as I was mentioning to you, Latin America is doing a good job. They're taking a step ahead. There are many countries working towards their implementing and developing their taxonomy, because we are very vulnerable and we know it. So I do believe governments are good at taking good steps. We need a little bit more about policy. We need more to see how are we bringing more investment, more public expenditure in these kind of projects. But I think the region is working really well, is working together, that all the regions putting their efforts in order to bring this transition to Latin America and the Caribbean.
And then just finally, I mean, we sat down and spoke before the conference in Bogota. You're here in London, joining me in person. How are you finding the conference? Is there anything you're sort of taking from today to take back for future events?
Well, it's London. It's amazing the amount of people we have here, that the amount of interest. There's so many interesting speakers from different regions coming to London, and that's the most important thing, to see so many different actors coming to speak on behalf of the importance and the need of the transition and the sustainable finance in general. So yeah, it's a good benchmark we have. Next year we'll be in Sao Paulo. That's a first for you. So we'll be there in Sao Paulo. Hopefully you can come and visit us.
Oh, I'll see you there. And then just finally, what does best case scenario look like for you today? And besides just getting a Guinness with me, of course.
Well, you still owe me that Guinness. Look, best case scenario is to go out there and meet more people, see all the investors, the banks, all the actors that are important to continue developing. I've seen people that are coming from all the way from Spain, from different regions. So the job is to go do some networking and do some relations in order to continue evolving this discussion in my region.
Well, I won't keep you much longer in that case. Andres, thank you so much for joining
Thank
me.
you, buddy.